There once was a farmer who had 3 daughters who were all going out on their first date at the same time. The farmer, being protective of his daughters, decided to meet their suitors at the front door with his shotgun. The doorbell rang and the father answered the door and the lad said, "Hi, my name's Joe. I'm here for Flo. We're going to the show. Is she ready to go?" The father looked him over and sent the kids on their way. The next lad arrived. "My name's Eddie. I'm here for Betty. We're going to get some spaghetti. Is she ready?" Father felt this one was okay too, so off the 2 kids went. The final young man arrived and the farmer opened the door. The boy started off, "Hi, my name's Chuck," and the farmer shot him. Okay. This businessman gets on his flight and he's lucky to be seated right next to this beautiful, gorgeous blonde who's reading this book on sexual activities and statistics. They exchanged greetings and he said, "That's an interesting book you're reading." She said, "Yes, it is." She says, "Do you know that they say that the American Indian has the longest penis of anyone in the world, and that the Polish man has the widest diameter of any one in the world?" And she says, "Isn't that interesting?" And the man says, "Yes." And she says, "By the way, my name is Gene. What's yours?" And the man replies, "Tonto Kowalski. Nice to meet you." Okay, one night a man takes this woman he's on a first date with back to his apartment. And before he unlocks the door, the woman says, "Hold on just a second." Says, "You know, I can tell just how a man makes love by the way he opens that door." Says, "If you force the key into the lock and then forces the door open, it means you are very rough in making love to a woman. And I don't like that." She says, "On the other hand, if you have a hard time finding the hole to put the key into the lock, that means the man doesn't have any experience. And I don't like that either." Then she said, "How do you unlock your door?" And the man says, "Well, before I do anything else, I lick the lock." A man is walking down the street carrying a roll of chicken wire. His neighbor sees him and asks, "Hey, what you up to?" The guy replies, "I got me some chicken wire and I'm going to catch me some chickens." His neighbor says, "You moron, you can't catch chickens with chicken wire." Later that night he sees a guy walking down the street, sure enough with 12 chickens. The next day he sees him walking down the street again with some duct tape. Once again the guy asks, "Hey, what you up to this time?" The guy says, "I have some duct tape and I'm going to catch me some ducks." The neighbor replies, "You moron, you can't catch ducks with duct tape." Sure enough, later that night he sees a guy walking down the street with 12 ducks behind him. The next day he sees a guy walking down the street with something else under his arm and he asks, What you got now?" The guy replies, "It's pussy willow." He says, "Hey, hang on, let me get my hat." Hey, watch my new jokes in H definition on Cinemax, Saturday nights before the 10 o'clock movie. A man, a dog, and a pig were stranded on a deserted island. After weeks of being trapped there, they settled into a ritual of going to the beach each evening to watch the sunset. One particular night the sky was a bright orange, and the view was so romantic that the pig started to look attractive to the man. So the man leaned over, put his arm around the pig, and started cuddling with the pig and trying to make out. Well, the dog did not like this at all, and he began to growl at the man until he removed his arm. In the following weeks, the three kept watching the sunsets together, but there were no further cuddling. Then one day, a beautiful young woman washed up on shore. The man nursed her back to health and invited her to come and watch the sunset with them. Again, the sky was orange and the view was so romantic that the man began to have those feelings again. So he turned to the woman and whispered in her ear, "Would you mind taking the dog for a walk?" Hey, watch my new jokes in HD on Cinemax, Saturday nights before the 10 o'clock movie. Three guys are drinking in a bar when a drunk comes in and start over, okay? Three guys are drinking in a bar when a drunk comes in, staggers up to them and points at the guy in the middle shouting, "Your mom's the best sex in town." Everyone expects a fight, but the guy ignores him. So the drunk wanders off and bellies up to the bar at the far end. 10 minutes later, the drunk comes back, points at the same guy and says, "I just screwed your mom and it was sweet." Again, the guy refuses to take the bait, and the drunk goes back to the far end of the bar. 10 minutes later, he comes back and announces, "Your mom loved it." Finally, the guy just can't take it anymore. He looks at the drunk and yells, "Go home, Dad, you're drunk again." There were two whales swimming around who were very, very bored when they saw a fishing boat, and one of the whales said to the other, "Hey, I've got an idea for a laugh. Why don't we swim under the boat, blow water from our blowholes, and flip the boat, just for a laugh?" They proceed to do this and swim back down, laughing their flippers off. Then the first whale says, "Hey, I have an even better idea. Now that the fishermen are in the water, why don't we swim back up and eat a few?" The other whale then replies, "Look, bro, I'm all for the occasional blowjob, but I refuse to swallow the semen." Hey, you jokers, watch my new jokes in HD on Cinemax on Saturday nights before the 10 o'clock movie.